Welcome and welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. We're talking about August and happy Leo season. Happy birthday to you Leos that were in July, and happy birthday to you Leos that are in August. I hope that it's been going well. I know that we have the Leo new moon coming up here. Is it on the 31st? I think so. I know there's like a lot of big transits going on around that time too. I keep hearing. So we'll get into it. I don't really have much to add other than that. We're just going to shuffle a bunch of times and then of course do a 6-card spread. So bear with me because it's just a feeling, you know, I got to feel it. There it is. So, I hope it's not too loud. I have the windows open. We'll see. So, we're looking for a message for Leo for August. Interesting. Okay. We'll just maybe leave these over here. That happened in somebody else's reading. Cancer, maybe? There was a card that was flipped over that I didn't notice, and when I cut the deck, it was at the top of one of the decks. I don't know. Been interesting. We have the King of Cups, the Two of Swords, the Knight of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, Nine of Swords, and the Tower. And then the King of Wands at the bottom of the deck, fire energy. Okay. We'll just kind of, it's interesting that we don't have a lot of fire. There's actually no fire out on the table. I mean, I guess the Tower is Mars, which I believe is associated more with Aries. But you want to see what these cards are? I think this one might be the Page of Wands because it's creased. That's the only reason why I know that. You can see the crease there. So we have the Empress and the Page of Wands. Interesting. This feels like trying to get something going. Very interesting. You know, I mean, the Empress talks about nurturing, and there is an abundance quality to it, but it's like an abundance of like the things that you need. It's not necessarily like Pentacles are, you know, kind of the tangible things that we can touch, right? Resources and materials. But the Empress is like feeling secure, feeling supported. And it's interesting too, you know, with the Page of Wands is it's generally, you know, pages are the younger energies. So it's kind of like that energy of right when you step into something, it's that excitement to try something new, right? And like you have all of this energy to go out and do it. You're very excited about it. You want to try new things, right? There's an adventure quality to it. But it's interesting because in this depiction of the Page of Wands, they're sitting underneath this tree, and it's almost like I get this feeling of you are trying to, it's almost like being in this energy of not chasing. You're like, no, like what's meant for me is going to have to come to me. Like, which is also very Empress energy too, because, you know, Empress is very much in the flow. It's divine feminine energy. They don't chase, right? And there's also, you know, we have butterflies here. She's generally depicted as being pregnant. It can be family planning, of course, but it's more so, you know, fertility as far as opportunities go. Birthing opportunities, right? But like I said, it's almost like, you know, you could have been working on manifesting for some time, like really trying to get clear on what it is that you want. And then it's like, I'm ready for the adventure, but it's got to come to me. And two, you know, she's playing this flute here. So it's not like you're hiding out by any means. You know, because, you know, like, as much as I would love for this to be true, it's like you can't like just kind of sit in your house and do nothing and expect something to drop in your lap. Like you still need to kind of live your life and kind of move forward and be in that energy of what you are trying to manifest. So, you know, like with this flute playing, it's like, it's almost like that beacon, you know, I'm getting a beacon energy where, again, you know, I mean, the thing is going to find you. Very interesting. Because, you know, we have the King of Cups here, which is Pisces energy. It could be a Pisces. Doesn't have to be. But cups have to do with our emotions, right? The emotional body, heart center. And water also has to do with intuition. Compassion, right? Grace, all of those things. And when we talk about the kings are the highest expression of the suit, right? So they've figured it out to an extent because they're in this position of power. Like, you know, kind of this like role model energy. There's definitely a clarity of how you're feeling also. This could even be, again, you know, like with this manifestation thing over here, you know, you could be just really in your feels about it. How do I want to feel about my life? And how do I want to express those feelings? You could really be letting your intuition guide you right now. Really plugging into that. And maybe that's new. Or it's just not clear because we have the Two of Swords here. And the Two of Swords talks about indecision, but it's kind of like, I don't know what to do. They're generally depicted as being blindfolded. And it looks like they have a feather in front of their eyes. Like it's not a blindfold. It does look like a feather. But also, you know, just the body language of having the arms crossed, it's a bit defensive and a bit closed off. And it's also interesting how, you know, it's crossing at the heart center. Swords have to do with our thoughts, intellect. I see them as being the cards of ego because that's generally where we hear our egos in our minds. So you may just not like what you're being guided to do. But this Knight of Swords here is almost kind of like there's this energy of giving it a try. The Knights are generally messengers, you know, so I mean, there could be somebody communicating ideas to you. You could be, it's almost like kind of this brainstorming feeling. But I also get this feeling of like something is waiting for you to just go for it. I don't know. Like, the more that I look at this card, it seems like they turned around and came back and was like, and you know, they're like looking at this Two of Swords here, like, what are you doing? Let's go. I don't, you know, his eyebrow is kind of frowned there. Even the horse's like head is kind of turned, you know, like how dogs do that. If they hear like a noise that they, you know, like a high-pitched noise or something, they'll turn their head like, what? You know? I guess you couldn't see me just do that, but and you know, that's what I'm saying, like with this Two of Swords in the middle here, it's almost kind of like there's this block happening. It could even be a mental block. And it may also be because, you know, like it may just be a matter of doing something differently than you have before. Sorry about that. My battery died. I'm not sure where it actually cut off, but just to recap, I think it cut off around the Knight of Swords. It's so interesting because we have this King of Cups here, emotional body, right? Like really getting into your feels, really trying to like get clear about how you feel about a thing, right? And then there's these two mind cards. And maybe those are just kind of tripping you up a little bit because it's almost kind of like, you know, like to cut the tension or to, you know, because this Two of Swords would be like tension to me. And the Knight of Swords can be very impulsive. It's kind of, you know, like they're a really fast moving card. So it's kind of like, you know, they sometimes don't think before they do. And it's almost like that I'd rather ask for forgiveness than permission type of thing, which can work sometimes, of course. But like I said, it's really like, you know, there's this feeling of wanting to almost kind of be impulsive and make a decision because you want to just kind of like cut through the tension. Now we have the Ace of Pentacles down here under the King of Cups. The Ace of Pentacles would talk about new opportunities. It could be a new job, a new way of making money. You know, Pentacles have to do with our money, how we spend it, save it, earn it. It's our time, materials, resources. It's also our physical bodies. So there could be some sort of opportunity coming in. And that could even be, you know, like what you're manifesting here. But it's like you want it to feel good, you know, like you want it to align with your skills, really. And then we have the Nine of Swords, which is anxiety, restlessness. Although, you know, like they're sleeping in this depiction of the Nine of Swords. And generally, in the traditional tarot, they're not sleeping. They're sitting up in bed like, oh, you know, I just can't shut my brain off. So there is this, you know, there seems to be, of course, a lot going on around, right? There's these 8 swords here. There's a crow on each one of these cards. And I believe that crows signify change. It's so interesting. I think that every single reading I've done so far, the Nine of Swords has come out. So there's clearly, you know, like this energy of change coming up in August. But, you know, I mean, this could even be like worry that there's this like mental exhaustion thing going on here. But then there's this one crow here with this sword. Like an offering almost. Right? I mean, that could be the Ace of Swords. And it's interesting that the Two of Swords and the Nine of Swords, you know, come up together because both of these talk about mental conflict. And then we have the Tower. And really, like, it seems like an old way of doing things will no longer work. You know, like it's going to take you doing something different. Because the Tower, the purpose of the Tower is to come in and, you know, break down whatever is no longer serving. You know, like it needs to be cleared out so that the new can come in. You know, like you think about those controlled burns in meadows and stuff. I feel like it's like I'm trying to remember this story I heard. I don't know. But you clear out, you know, the old brush. And people would think, oh my gosh, well, if you burn it, it's not going to grow back. That's not true. You know, like the soot and the ash actually put minerals back into the earth, right? And then, you know, things grow back. Maybe even better than before. Because we have the King of Wands at the bottom of the deck, which is fire energy, right? Finally, we have the Page at the beginning. And we have this progression to the King of Wands at the end here. But it's interesting because, you know, these 4 cards seem to be a bit more on the quote unquote positive side. You know, like really focusing your energy on, and on what it is that you want to call into your life. Right? But then, you know, maybe there's this worry that maybe it's like too much, or that it's not going to happen, or it's not going to happen in the way that you want, or whatever the case may be. It could even be the struggle is that you're changing, that you're transforming, like evolving, right? And this Knight of Swords is going to bring in this Tower very quickly. But like I said, you know, we have this King of Wands down here, which is, again, you know, the highest expression of the wands. I believe this is a card of Sagittarius. I love that strength is right behind that. So, you know, there could even be a divine partnership here. And this is your card, right? So, very interesting. And I love how they both have their own staffs here. Like, it's almost like, you know, matching energy. But, you know, like you get to this point, right, where you reach kind of that new level within yourself, like that growth, that evolution that I was talking about. And, you know, strength talks about determination, perseverance, right? It's not like physical strength. Can be, but... And then we have the Three of Pentacles. And we see, you know, these two characters working together. That is so interesting. I mean, it literally looks, it literally looks like these two figures on the same card. And that's what the Three of Pentacles is: partnership, collaboration, working together. But we have this warning back here with the Five of Swords. Why is there, oh wait, I feel like, was it last month that there were a couple different stories that came out in the Leo reading also? I kind of want to look because I'm like, why is there always multiple stories with Leo? It's just an interesting dynamic because now I'm like going back through here. Okay, I had to go look. It was actually in June that there were multiple stories that came out. I didn't watch the whole thing again, but the longer I sit here with these cards, you are taking me on a trip, Leo. Thank you. It's been a long time since I've been on vacation. But, okay. This feels like, I don't do, me personally, like, I don't really do love stories or love readings, relationship readings. I don't really, that's not really my bag, but if it comes out, we'll talk about it. So it feels like, okay, it feels like the King of Cups is a person in your life, and the Knight of Swords is a person in your life. I mean, it can be anything. I mean, it could be business, relationship, platonic, romantic, right? I mean, it would depend on your situation. But this is you over here, right? Just standing there like the Empress, like, hello, right? I'm the divine feminine. You don't necessarily have to be a feminine, but it's the energy of that, right? Because like I said, okay, sorry about that. We're on a journey here, okay? So, like I was saying, right? You know, the Empress is not going to chase. Empress is like, you come to me. Page of Wands, even just the energy, like I was saying, you know, like sitting under this tree with a flute, playing music, right? You're like, It's almost kind of like this energy of like waiting for other people to decide shit. So the King of Cups can be a person. It could be Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Like I said, specifically Pisces, because it is a card of Pisces, but it doesn't have to be. But it can just be maybe somebody who seems a bit more emotionally mature. I mean, they can be maybe an older person. And then we have the Knight of Swords, who would be like not fully developed mentally. I don't mean that as shade. It's just, it's the energy of the Knight, right? Because they're not, you know, like the Page is generally like adolescence to, you know, early 20s. The Knights are 20s to like mid 30s. The Queens are, you know, mid 30s to like 40s, 50s, and then the Kings are generally older than that. This person doesn't have to be that quote unquote old, but like I said, you know, it may just be in like somebody older than you, even a little bit more than what the Knight of Swords is. And like I said, you know, like maybe just a bit more emotionally mature, or even emotionally evolved. And the Knight of Swords is, you know, kind of cocky, a bit arrogant, maybe a little bit all over the place. But, you know, that's almost kind of the excitement of the Knight of Swords. Like there is this confidence and this cockiness that it kind of tricks you in the beginning, right? Because you're like, oh, I love that. I love that you're confident. I love, you know, but then the more that you get to know somebody, you're like, that's actually not what that is it? It's like insecurity and sadness. But, and then there's this Two of Swords that's in the middle, right? Like this feels like you are in the middle of these two figures. And like I said, you know, it can be a relationship. It could be romantic, platonic, business, right? And what's interesting is that, you know, again, you know, like this Nine of Swords. Between the Ace of Pentacles and the Tower, like, you know, this King of Swords or this King of Cups would be offering a new start. Like this would be a physical attraction It could even be, you know, like physical passion. This can maybe even be the connection that you guys have, you know, or just a way that you're feeling about it. But this to me would also be like somebody who is present, like somebody who would show up. And this may even be a new person, because the Ace of Pentacles is something new. It's a new beginning. So this could be somebody that you don't know yet, or have just met, or they're coming in. This partnership, I mean, like, this has better chances of survival, I should say. And then we have the Tower under the Knight of Swords, and it's kind of like this is what you're going to get out of the Knight of Swords. There could even be history here with the Knight of Swords, because there has to be something to crumble in order for the Tower to show up. Right? I mean, you know, it's a tower. So you had to have, you know, kind of built something with the Knight of Swords in order for it to be able to be taken down by the Tower card. And I feel like, just based on looks alone in these cards, I feel like this knight is trying to present themselves as this King of Wands. You know, like offering you something different, offering, you know, like, no, it'll be different this time. Right? Have you seen that sign, or like that meme that's like, it's a price tag that's $10, and it's like, you know, when he says he's changed, and it's marked through and marked down to $9.99. But that's how this feels. And I'm saying just based off of looks alone, because this guy is blonde, right? Kind of looks like he has long hair. This guy has darker hair. This has darker hair, looking a bit more mature than the Knight of Swords does, right? So it feels to me like, you know, this Knight of Swords is presenting themselves as the King of Wands, like, you know, highly motivated. They could be telling you like, I'm going to make all these changes and I'm going to, you know, go out and do all these wonderful things and blah, blah, blah. Right? And, you know, we have your card, the Strength card, again, you know, like just kind of presenting like, oh, you know, like we're soulmates, we're supposed to be together, you know, cut from the same cloth, whatever the case may be. Just stick it out with me, right? And this is the stick it out with me, like, you know, we could work it out. Look, I'm putting in work here, right? But we have this Five of Swords, and look at that. Look at, you know, the posture, right? The body language. And he is just like walking away with the Three Swords. She's stabbed in the back. But then this Emperor. Which is the card of Aries. This almost feels like this guy's energy. Even though, you know, I mean, they're not in the same suit. Cups, you know, fire here. But, you know, I mean, there's this orb here. He's got one around his neck. I can't really see like his hair or anything, but even just like, you know, I'm probably looking into this way too hard, but I'm so intrigued now. I'm like, I'm so here for this. But even just, you know, like the way that their arms are drawn feels the same. And, you know, I mean, the Emperor would be the counterpart to the Empress. I mean, the Emperor is going to initiate. They will approach you, right? I mean, there is this, again, this air of authority with the Emperor. And, you know, this could be what you're missing from the King of Cups. Like, you know, maybe you're like, you know, I love the emotional stuff, the emotional stuff. But like, where's your fire? Where's the passion? Where's the, you know, and it's almost like, you know, through this journey, and this doesn't even have to be something that you actually go through, right? It's almost like, you know, kind of this feeling of letting things play out before like fully committing to them. You know how that, you know, like, it's like you're committed, but like you're also not. More so like you're not. If that makes sense. Because it almost kind of seems like, you know, this Emperor is going to come in after this Five of Swords and almost like step up, right? And I do not think, like I said, I don't think that this Emperor is this Knight of Swords or even this King of Wands or this guy that's in the Three of Pentacles. Or the guy that's in the Five of Swords. I feel like it's a different person. I feel like it's the King of Cups. And maybe they don't want to show, you know, that card too soon because they don't want to, you know, seem overbearing or just too much. I don't know. That's interesting. If any of that resonates, like like I said, I'm invested. If that resonates with anybody, let me know. I don't even know what we were talking about originally. I was just trying to see if there was anything else. I don't think so. I'll leave it there. Thank you so much for letting me read your cards. I'll talk to you soon.